Where's my volume mixer? Perfectly prepared for stream. Just once, maybe. No, never. Anyway. A long time no here. Yeah. We haven't even started yet. We haven't even started yet. How do you want me to save? We haven't even started yet, but drink. We haven't even started yet, but save the game. Okay, damn. I'm trying. But hi, hello, welcome back to Flowers. I am certainly going to enjoy my mood whiplash, going from Hope's Party to Flowers. Certainly. That is just a little different. That is going to be just a little different. Quick thing I want to tell you guys about is I got the other two bad endings. Oh god. The other two bad endings that we didn't have yet. And why is it still that the music has this little thing where it just fucking breaks sometimes? Okay, anyway, I got these other two bad endings because I wanted to see. So the one bad ending was just if you answer wrong with the whole where you're in what's the word in the library, and then it's just a very short bad ending where it's like, okay, you didn't manage to clear up the secret. And then the other one, when you tell like Mayuri's secret, you tell the twins they're upset, and you ask Rika like to hurry up basically. What you get then is a bad ending. That's basically, okay, you didn't clear anything up. Sue's trauma comes back full force and she just falls into a coma, basically. I'm not even joking. She falls into a coma. She gets sent back home, but she doesn't wake up. And then her grandpa is like, okay, let's at least let her like spend her days here. And then you just get this time skip of 3 full years where she was in a coma, and then she wakes up and all of her memories are gone. Like, and then she goes to class, and Sister Dahlia does tell her about all the friends she had made, but she's like, me make friends, me the introvert, me the one who doesn't talk to people, I couldn't have made friends. And she doesn't remember any of that. And then you get a new transfer student, and for some reason Mayuri is there again as a transfer student, but Sue doesn't remember anything. That's bad ending 4. I don't know why they thought sudden coma and losing her memories to trauma was the way to go, but that's bad ending 4. This is why I don't really read bad endings unless it's required, because I don't know, it gives CGs or like some kind of achievement, because I don't care. I don't really care much for the bad endings. I only want the stuff where everyone is happy at the end. That's a high guy. No worries at all with the recommendations. I hope some of them are actually going to be fun. Also, why did I load this file? There's no reason for me to be loading this file. That's fucking stupid. We need to start a new game anyway. Sorry, hold on. We need to start a new game for the next ending that we're going for. Beep, 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 beep. And then I'm just going to immediately save because battles in this entry go the extra mile to be bad endings, like, I guess. I mean, the ones for the mystery, it's always just like, oh, okay, if you get the mystery wrong, then it's just like, Sue is not as intelligent as everyone thought she was, and then she falls into a depression because she couldn't figure it out. Bim bum. Ending. I'm just like, okay. Honestly, that's fair. Another visual novel I'm playing for myself privately right now has a good ending and so it's like 4 bad endings for each character, then a good ending for each character, and then like the best ending. Only the best and the good ending actually give you CGs and unlock stuff. So I did bother to do the bad endings with the first character, but it was such a pain to do. There's a bunch of time choices there where if you want to get the bad ending, you just need to have the timer run out. And I was like, okay, I don't care. They don't actually give me anything except a fade to black, basically. Bye. For completionists and getting them unintentionally, yeah. Listen, if there's nothing behind it except like the fucking, oh, it now says that you got bad ending in the ending list here, I don't care. Since they stopped the progression of the overarching story, there have been visual novels where, and especially Otome games, where I have cared for the bad endings. Like Amnesia Memories is not complete unless you also collect all of those bad endings. But anything else? No. No cursor cute? Yeah. You can get this new cursor for yourself, by the way. It is still on the Discord. For anyone who wants to grab it. It's very cute. Staring out at the landscape shrouded in a white haze, I feel like I'm looking into my own mind. Why am I not allowed to skip the beginning of the game? We have read this before. The view from my room, from which I've long been absent, is clouded like tea after a heavy splash of milk, the trees and cliffs hidden behind a gauzy curtain. A face floats ghost-like out of the mist. My noble Amici, more beautiful than anyone, with her hair as black as a crow's plumage. Our first meeting was straight out of the pages of a novel. Yeah, a visual novel. I looked up through the falling cherry blossom petals to see her, reaching out a hand toward the fluttering flowers like a fairy. We ended up in the same class, and then we became amitié partners. As we got to know one another, I realized how startlingly different we were. I love plants, bugs, nature. I had little concern for people. I knew I wouldn't fit in with my classmates and had resigned myself to that fact. I was not arrogant enough to dream that I could achieve something I didn't even want. However, Mamiche provided a bridge between my world and a normal one. She encouraged me to integrate with everyone else. Frankly, at first I found her meddling unwelcome, but as I unfolded and stepped into worlds other than my own, I changed my mind. I still love nature as much as ever, but I found a space in my heart for people too. Perhaps it all started when I rescued her after she got caught up in one affair. Suddenly she was aware of me, and with my sharp intuition I noticed. Same-sex love. I've been baptized, but despite that I was pleased she felt that way about me. I was happy when she put me first. And then those waxing feelings finally culminated in... Oh. What? I whispered the name of my beloved, then let out a long, soft sigh. Why do things end up this way? At the beginning I thought it was just your usual petty quarrel. I thought it would resolve itself soon enough. But the distance that had opened between the two of us steadily widened until it was a gulf that could never be filled. I always looked forward to the Feast of the Assumption. But for me, that whole occasion is now. Oh. Hearing mother call for me, I respond that I'm on my way. Game, you need to stop. Right. I mean, I understand the reasoning behind making Mayuri, and I forgot her name, looks strikingly similar, but it's really confusing. Oh, okay. Starts a new game. Oh, okay, I guess we're starting with Mayuri because now we know she still exists, right? She's out there. This is not Mayuri. For some reason, I'm tormented by a feeling of irritation, a sense of something scratching away inside of me. A sense of solitude, like being left all alone on the dark side of the moon. I pray for my beloved Amitié, somewhere on the other side of that white mist. I pray that she will be happy and healthy, and that she and Basquiat's little prayer will be answered. I see. Okay, I understand that I'm not allowed to skip this because it's a new scene. And okay. Whatever. This is the beginning of the game. Where Sue wants a... Yeah, okay. Gotcha. From the first frame she appears. Bro. Now? I don't think so. Ah, yes. This is gonna be fun. It's gonna be skip. Ah, new scene. Skip. What do you mean don't skip these? It's only skipping text I haven't seen yet. It's only skipping text we have seen before. Sorry, my bad. Other way around. It should stop once we reach text that was not there before. At least that's the setting I put it to. It doesn't do it with the interludes before the new chapters. Oh, okay. Oh. Well. Are those not going to be the same ones as originally? Like, oh, yay, wait, hold on, what was chapter... Chapter 4, the one for... Does it not do that? Are they different? Because I'm certainly not going to click through each and every one of these lines by hand if there's a skip button. I am not in the right place. There we go. I can tell because suddenly you could see some more of the actual flower that's on the right side of the text box. Alright. Lots of same options here. And they're building their little snowman. This feels like forever ago. Beginning of the game feels like such a long time ago. It hasn't actually been that long. It's so cute. We don't have any snow here anymore, which is good. It's almost May. I don't want to see any snow until the end of the year again. Ah, yeah. This is so much fun. I love skipping text I've already seen before. That means I need to fill the silence of my own somehow. Oh, really? Ah, okay. So So as soon as I see the screen go dark and it's an interlude, I can stop pressing the button so we don't accidentally skip it. Smart. God, no entertainers. I'm trying. I'm trying to understand what the exact reasoning here is, because what we're trying to do now is like play through it all again. Oops. And we're choosing the exact... Hold on. We're choosing the exact same options. And then we need to make a save towards the very end at Mystery 3. And then we're gonna get the good end. And once we've also gotten the Dika end, we can go back to this save and just immediately catch the other ending or whatever. So just this one time, we definitely have to suffer through all of that skipping so we have an easier time later on. Yes. I say I guess because it's the first game that I haven't played before. With the others, I knew what to do. And I had already unlocked everything, so... Yeah. Ah, okay. Interlude.
夏目漱石全集に甲府という作品がある。主人公である青年が不実さゆえに三角関係となり、やはり不実さゆえ全てを捨て家を飛び出す。行くあてもなくさまよい歩いていると声をかけられ、言葉巧みに炭鉱へ連れて行かれるという筋だ。
That's the same interlude as...
炭鉱の町でさまざまな人たちと出会い、販売の仕事をこなし、
as it was
5ヶ
originally,
月も
no?
の時を過ごす。そしてこの物語は青年が家に戻り、そこで唐突に終わってしまう。今や伝聞でしか知り得ない鉱山町や坑道でのやり取りなど緻密に描かれ興味深く面白さを感じたけど、私の好きなあの子は青年が成長しないことに恐怖と安堵を覚えたと告げた。住む町を変え、仕事を変え、人と会い労苦に耐える。だが青年の考え方はまるで変わることはなかったと。物語の始まりから終わりを迎えても変わることのない己という子。変化は良いこととして語られるが、変わらぬことで安らぎを得ることができる。これから始まる物語は変わらぬ思いを標本にして閉じ込めた悲しい若者のお話。
I see. Okay, thank you for telling me, because I would have definitely just skipped those. I see. I mean, the thing is just because I don't play the entire game like in one go or in just as little time as possible, and there are several weeks since we originally played chapter 2, or since we originally arrived at this point in the game for the first time, it is a little harder to tell the differences immediately, I will admit that. Alright. Tsubabuki-san! With a 1 CG that also functions as her little sprite thingy. I feel like if you played the game for yourself and in a short amount of time, sure, or it's just like, oh, okay. But it's been how long since we actually started this game? I didn't even reach chapter 2 in the first stream, I think. Oh, checking to make sure there's no one else in the library. There's new text here. I open up the almanac I smuggled out of Izzy. Oh. No, no. Huh? Eh? What is it with... I do have the right skipping thing on, right? Yeah. Maybe that's just my control key giving up then. I was like, oh, new text? No, it's just my control key giving up. Alright. I wonder how long the other endings are going to be then. Like, majority of the game we've seen. Majority of the game we've already seen. We have some new events, sure, but overall, how much are those going to add? Or how much more is there going to be at the end of the game for the true ending? Because the first ending we got, with Mayuri suddenly showing up there. Like, okay, sure, hi, hello. And then no explanation whatsoever, and it's like, boom boom, here's an ending. Lol. Didn't really answer any questions. Ah, hi. Another character who also got some artwork for this specific entry, finally. Bless. Skip button, my beloved. The hand holding, yeah. It's going to be painful to go back from Sue actually opening up to her friends and telling them all about the mystery and how she's trying to solve it, to Sue is desperately trying to keep everything hidden and she can't tell anyone and she's being plagued by the shadow of her stepmom. It's just like, you were doing so well. Go back. Or go ahead, maybe. This is only in the future when she actually starts opening up. It wouldn't be half as long if Sue had actually talked to everyone and asked them for help, I feel like. Like, oh yeah, by the way, I am still very much looking into her disappearance, and also I already literally know she exists. I've talked to her in secret. Also, I think I need some more proper therapy because my mental health is definitely not where it should be at. Hehehehe. But no. So it's just, I have access to these little books. I'm gonna find something about Shiro and Basquiat, but Shiro and Basquiat doesn't want to be found, not where she's looking. In the meantime, Milika is already... Well, maybe not at this exact point, maybe a little further ahead. Milika has found the letters and everything. I like when they do the more brownish colors though. Anyway, same answers as before because it's still the same mystery. And I would like to check the scrunchie and how they've both, yes, done the bows. This teacher was involved with the student. Almost. Who's also her cousin. Dun 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 dun. Catholic boarding schools for girls really do faster. Like, sure, either you go out of it like a stronger Christian than you were before, or you're gay. Like, there is no in between, I feel like. It's like, for sure, you learn something new about yourself. I feel like. Smash. Ah yes, the blood-sucking scene. Stronger gay. Ah, there we go. This is new, right? She and Basquiat's story begin with those words.
初めて家元を離れ、聖アングレカム学院に入学した時、寮暮らしになれるだろうか。学院に入学したての私と似た気持ちが綴られていた。
You definitely came out of here as a stronger gay.
学院の桜の木の下での出会いが不安をまるで引き波のように消し去ったのだと記されていた。
Thank you for the pet. There's a quote, but not quoting. How dare he? Hold on. Why is the bot not doing anything, actually?
自分を見つめる彼女に、私のことだ。自分自身も目をそらせなかったと。
It's a nice voice.
そしてだいぶ誇張されているが、私を初めて見たとき、まるで桜のせいだと感じたのだと記されていた。
There we go. Now it's working.
それは淡い柔らかな抜けるような白い肌。
Try again.
作り物の
Try again. It should work now. I'm so sorry.
私が思ったことと同じだった。思えばこの時からすでに心を奪われていたのかもしれない。
Oh, we haven't fixed that quote yet, though.
心情が赤裸々に語られて。
Remind me.
満開の夜桜の下で初めて交わした私たちのやりとりが記されていた。昔というほど古くはなく、
Yeah, just send me a DM right
少し
now,
前というほど最
and
近
then
ではないことだ
then
が、
I'll check out the stream.
随分と過去のことのように感じる。結びに、この出会いは必然であったと思う。そう、不吉な言葉で締められていた。初めの書き出しにあった私が欲したものは決して手に入らない。その言葉の意味と結びに、私は胸が押しつぶされそうな思いを抱え、次の手紙を手に取ったのだ。
Ah, I see.
グリム童話にカエルの王様と呼ばれる一編がある。日本ではカエルの王子様として知られる物語だ。王女が感謝の印としてカエルにキスをして魔法使いの呪いが解け、
Depends on the version, but yeah.
カエルは人の姿に戻り王女と結ばれるというものだが、本当のお話では知られている物語ほど優しくはない。泉に金の鞠を落とした王女へカエルは友達になってくれるのなら拾ってきますと申し出る。王女はその条件を飲むもカエルと友達になろうとせず、卑怯にも城へと去ってしまう。これから始まる物語は、友を得たいがために友を切り捨てる哀れなカエ
And a
ル
bit for
の話。
friendship. Okay. Freya, the Frog Prince. Hi, good evening. I'll close one eye. I can't even see you. You know what we could do actually? Is I'll just read out the English version of the Frog Prince that I have in my book here. On the other hand, I feel like skipping the text doesn't actually take that long. So we shall just be stuck here watching a bunch of text boxes float by. What if the writers involved with flowers did write for the murderers games as well? Hold on. We still have it open somewhere. Yeah. Flowers. Yeah, there we go. Suzuka Miya is credited as assistant writer for specifically Sama, for example, and they were responsible for this for some part of the scenario and also production of Kara no Shoujo the last episode. For example, Kara no Shoujo second episode, scenario writer, that kind of thing. That's why. Katraga. So I have not played either of those, so. You still down in another corner, need something. Okay. How many corners does this room have? We have 2 more spaces open. No, I'm already almost in 1 corner, so I think we have 1 more space. Who wants to take the last corner? Unless it's a really fucked up room and we have more than 4 corners, who knows? Okay, and now I'm going to use this to skip in case. Where am I gonna live if you run out the last corner? Okay, Mel gets the last corner then. Mod privilege or something. The Frog Prince. That's a very uncomfortable image, not gonna lie. I do not like being stared at. Imagine being the center of the room. It's less than 4 corners triangle room. Hmm? Oh, I was thinking of more than 4 corners actually. Just fucking hexagon style or something. Gosh, a few more of those Sims 4 speed builds where people make like these really grand houses and really push the game to the limit, like even without custom content. Just like the base game. And I just look at those and think to myself, what the hell? Oh, no, that's not. I thought we were already at the thing. Ah, Mine is Shion's story
学院に
continues.
入学した私たちは晴れてアミティエ同士となった。アミティエになったいきさつは細かく記されていなかったけれど、困ったことになった私はアミティエ選定試験の顛末を思い出し懐かしむ。手紙を読み進めると、私と彼女が経験したさまざまな事柄が記されていた。苦手な教科を熱心に教えてもらったこと、オリエンテーリングで組んだ時につまらない意地から足をくじいた自分を私が助けたこと、それを機に互いに友人だと認め合い、苦手なクラシックバレエの授業では共に教え合い練習を重ねたこと、そしてアミティエと私と時を重ねるほどに惹かれ合っていることに気づいたのだと。アミティエと向き合っていると、自分にはない美しさに惹かれていったのだと。顔の造作ではない、体の内側から発せられる生命力がもたらす自然な輝きに見せられていった。自分の中からとうに消え失せてしまった輝きに、アミティエが何かしら真剣に向き合うときは決まって膝の上に手を置いた。そんな癖すら愛らしく愛おしく思った。私の癖をそんな風に見ていたんだなと、胸が心が震え涙がにじんでくる。震える手を押さえ手紙を読む。そこにはある災いが私たちを変えてしまったのだと。自分が犯した罪を見届けるために涙を拭い最後の手紙を手に取った。
I appreciate that they actually give us more information on the letters themselves, because it's one thing for the characters to be like, oh god, these letters are so tragic, and reading them, but me, the player, I'm just sitting here like, well, what the fuck does it
オズ
say
の
in
魔
there?
法使いという童話がある。物語は孤児であったドロシーが農夫のヘンリー夫妻と暮らし始めたところから始まり、突然起こる災い、竜巻によって物語は動き始める。ドロシーは偶然に
You know, I still,
東の魔女を
as I
倒し
still haven't read it, I still
マンチキンの
find
国
it
を救い、
interesting how it's like, accidentally kills. I'm like,
脳
how
み
do
そ
you
のない
accidentally
か
kill
かし、
someone?
心のないブリキ、
Many ways to accidentally kill someone, but how exactly does Dorothy go
オズ
about
に
it?
会うためエメラルドの
What
町へ
the
と
fuck is
向かう。
happening in Wizard of Oz?
そして謁見したオズからカンザスへ帰るために横島な西の魔
Oh,
女を
you
殺す
accidentally
ことを命
killed
じられたのだ。
the Witch of the East, so now you
理
have
不
to kill
尽
the
な要
Wicked
求
Witch
の
of the
苦
West.
難
Like,
の末
huh?
に乗り越え約束を守り戻るも、オ
And
ズは
then you
一
don't
転
even
して
get anything for
ド
it.
ロシーを家に帰すことなどできなかった。
Scam.
仲間たちはドロシーを返すために奔走する。そして南の魔女グリンダならば願いを叶えてくれることを知る。南の魔女から銀の靴を使い家に帰れることを教わり、仲間と感動の別れの後、両親の待つカンザスへと戻る。オズの魔法使いの物語を思い出したとき、私は銀の靴を持つドロシーが羨ましくなった。望むところへ帰れる靴を持ったドロシーが。だがドロシーと同じく懐かしむ場所が2つある私は応納する。そしてそれはあの2人も同じ。これから始まる物語は裏切りを選んだ少女と全てを受け入れた少女のお話。
Mm-hmm. Betrayal. Okay. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Okay, that's text I can't actually skip. It's the beginning of February and crisp morning light filters into the classroom. Its diffuse warmth distracts me from homeroom and my eyelids feel pleasantly heavy.
良いですか？朝の読書習慣についてですが。
Oh, okay. So much for unskippable text. Love letter conversation. This is a good speed for skipping text though, I will say that. You know, sometimes games, while they do have a skip button where it's like, oh, you've seen this before, we're going to make it so you can skip, but the speed in and of itself of the skipping is just not that good. So you're just sitting there for like a full hour just having text boxes run and run and run, but you're not actually getting anywhere. And that's when I think to myself, is it really worth it? Do I want to see everything this game has to offer? And yes, most of the time I do want to know what the game has to offer, so I sit through it, but still, that's the moment when I start picking up my phone or whatever and just do something else, because it's literally only skipping. And it's still taking a horrendous amount of time. Like this, it's like when they kind of mistake the automatic function for skipping, where it's like, well, it's supposed to skip stuff. I don't need to be able to still read it. The kind of speed where I'm supposed to be able to read it is when I put it on an automatic thing, so I don't need to be clicking stuff the entire time. It's not the case here, but that's good. Flower speedrun when? I mean, funnily enough, for the longest time before they, before someone put like a proper guide for the English version online for specifically this release, you had an easier time to just look into those forums where all of those trophy collectors are. Like the ones that don't actually care for the visual novels they buy. They just buy the visual novels because they're easy to get platinum trophies. And then they even import games in languages they don't speak, because it's like, oh well, you know, this is an easy trophy list. You just put the setting to skip everything, make it the maximum to skip, yada yada yada, and then you just let it run and choose these few choices, and then boom bam, you have another platinum trophy after what, like 2 hours? Easy. And in that moment I think to myself, why would I bother spending money on a game that I'm not actually reading or playing? Like that I buy for the specific purpose of not playing normally. But I guess, why not? Someone has that much money left over that they buy games for the purpose of just boosting their achievements, and be my guest. Hey. Even escape mode cannot stop Dika. Dika is too strong. Dika is like, hey, I have another ending in this game. You don't get to just neum all over that. Funnily enough though, we will be getting the good ending first, and then we're going to be getting the Dika ending next. And then it's the grand finale. But even then, it still takes a while. Okay. Did we have an interlude between this one and them actually going to the library and meeting Yuzuriya and the likes? I don't remember. My god. Oh, we have this entire thing in between. Oh my god. Z. Mika's voice lines are too strong. Everyone else's too, but Nika's are especially strong. Ne. Oh, no, the library scene happens immediately after. Huh. This is when I got upset. Because goddammit, Yuzuriya. This could have been easier, but no. The haircut still sucks. Stop talking badly about her haircut. Her girlfriend gave it on. I don't care. It doesn't look good.
シオンバスキアの手紙を読み終わった私は涙でにじむ瞳をこすりながら彼女と同じように手紙を残すことにした。そう、手紙に記すべきはやはり聖母祭でのことからだろう。聖母役が私でなくシオンが選ばれたことに初め驚きはしたが、優しく誰に対しても温柔なシオンは聖母役に向いていると。だが初めに抱いた気持ちとは裏腹に、その時から私たちアミティエの間にほころびが生まれ始めた。初めは認めてはいたけれども、クラスメートたちのひいきではないかという言葉に確かにそうではないかという憶測はあったのだ。そして間が悪いことに、私が彼女より秀でていたはずのバレエで初めてあの子に負けてしまった。あの声、心ない言葉を吐いてしまった。意地になってしまった私は二人の間にできた亀裂を直そうとすることはなかった。そして避けるような卑怯な真似を私は手紙に記す。私は悔しいとは思わなかった。彼女が努力していたことを知っていたから。でもそうだ、近すぎたからこそ亀裂なんてすぐ直せると思った。でも近すぎたことで傷の深さに気づかなかった。
Oh, nah. No, it's just the collab is going on right now. It's just basically just playing a bunch of games. I don't actually need another person for that. I just like more people playing Identity V. You don't need to do anything if you don't want to. I just want more people on the Western server.
最初に手を差し出した私が握った手を払うような真似をしてしまったのだから、もう届かない言葉だ。だがこの手紙の思いが彼女のもとへ届いてほしいと、悔恨の涙を流しながら思いを綴った。ああ、そうだ、私は向き合わなければならなかったんだ。誤り意固地になったせいでアミティエは二度と会えないところへと旅立ってしまった。願わくは愛するシオンの魂が全てを記し終えた私は愚かにもこの手紙を もし誰かが見つけてたならばと、走り書きのような無様な文言に自重する。だが、愚かな私には、このような形でしかすがることはできない。罪深い私が、救いを願うことなどあってはならないこと。アミティエと二人、手をつなげるように。
Will you have
グリム
anything
童話に歌う骨と呼ば
anything
れる
left
一
over
編
for
がある。
what would place exactly like that I did it?
危険な
By
イ
all
ノシ
means
シを
try
退
it.
治した者に王
It's a
女を
pretty
嫁にやろ
extensive
うという
tutorial to
触れ
go
に
through
貧しい兄弟は
before you
イ
actually
ノ
get to
シシ
play.
退治をすることにした。そして弟は奇妙な出会いから黒い杖を手に入れ、不思議な杖でイノシシを退治してしまう。弟は喜び勇み、イノシシを抱え、城へ向かう途中に泥酔した兄と会い、イノシシを仕留めたことを知った兄は手柄を独り占めするために弟を殺してしまった。弟の亡骸を橋のたもとに埋め、城へと向かい、イノシシを退治したと嘘をつき、褒美として王女と結婚する。兄は何不自由なく暮らしていた。しかしある時、羊飼いが橋のたもとで亡き弟の骨を見つけ笛を作ると、笛は吹いてもいないのに歌を歌い出す。あなたが吹く笛は私の骨。兄に殺されて埋められてしまった。兄は王女と結婚したかったから、と。羊飼いが王様へ骨の笛を届け、真実を知った王様に兄は処刑され、弟は年頃に葬られ、お話は終わる。これから始まる物語は、裏切り者と裏切られた者が奏でる
Oh,
悲
that's.
しい笛の音のお
I think
話。
that's the same one. That's the same text as we originally had here. Because it was like a betrayer and the betrayed. I was like, wait, who's doing the betraying now? Nothing and bone. Alright. Getting there. And then they have the little fight because my Erika got hurt and I think it was you. Explain to me why you were there with her. And we're like, I cannot tell you that. But just know it wasn't my fault. Except we don't even tell her it wasn't our fault. We feel like she's not going to believe us. It's just gonna be worse. Yippee. But actually, Erika's fine. As fine as one can be. Now we're going to confine the two of them. Goodness. And once again, these flowers look like they belong to my backdrop. They're very nice. Maybe I should get some of these. For real. As a backdrop thingy. I think it looks nice. About those words like new, like contemporary plays, new a temporary play. Like good evening instead of just good evening. Everyone can say good evening. Or good afternoon. Like, oh wow, Shiro Akashio looks so much like Mayuri. It's uncanny. Woo! Guten Norman, yes. Absolutely. Funnily enough, I think you can put the word new into many things, and you just need to believe very strongly and then it will work. Some things better than others, but you just need to believe. This is the one where she starts telling us about the little infinity mirror and how she had these recurring dreams. Anyone in the right mind would have stopped with the little mirror candle story, I think, after having that first dream. Maybe not right after the first one, but at least, like, at the second one, I don't think anyone in the right mind would have continued doing that. I don't care how superstitious you are, if you're having these weird dreams when you're sleeping in front of a mirror with infinite candles, maybe don't do it. Yeah, enjoy your smoke break. Ah, yes. I love visual novels. I love reading. I say not reading anything whatsoever. If it wasn't for those few scenes in between, if I had known that, I would have tried to like just make a few saves there, show all of you the scenes, and then skip to the end of all this, because sitting through it skipping is so please get a move on. I want the new stuff. I've promised a new route. Where is it? Ah, Erika talking to you. Then boom, bam, here's a signal. I have to say how much Sue is telling the truth in that ghost story. Well, I hope for her sake, a lot of it was just something she came up with for the fun of it, because Jesus Christ. House haunted. All of this is like the nightmares I have whenever I'm feeling low. Once when something terrible is approaching, I try to run, but my legs won't obey me, and all I can do is stand there rooted to a spot as fear creeps up from beneath my feet. That was good. Oh, nope, never mind, that's nothing new. Every time it stops skipping, I'm like, oh, okay.
貧しい家庭に生まれた女の子が3歳の折に
Is this one
聖
different?
母マリアに引き取られ
About Mary's
天国で幸せな生活を送ることと時は流れ女の子が14歳になった時
No, that's the same.
だが女の子は好奇心から
Yeah, and then she says, no, I didn't do
開けてい
it.
ないと
She gets cast out of heaven.
その後身寄りなく泣き暮らすも
Yep, she's with child, and then Mary comes up again, and she says she didn't, and then she gets her
嘘の
child
代
stolen
償と
from
して
her.
子供を奪わ
She
れ
does that 2 more
物語
times.
の最後に
She repents at
14
the
歳の折
end.
についた嘘で全てを失いこれから始まる物語は
Miserable Queen showing tree. Nope, that's the same. That's the same. Alright. Chapter 6. Skip. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we are not revealing Mayuri's secrets. And now we find the statue with the number on it. And everyone being like, wow, I've never seen a star like this before. I wonder what that could mean. And all of us being here like, well, you've never seen that kind of star before? Oh, right, this game was made in Japan. Never mind. Sorry, my bad. Okay, then we get the twins in here and tell them about it all. And they're like, alright. And we don't go, you must be upset. We say something encouraging. Yay. And then we break into Sister Baskia's room once more. Never seen a star like that because it was in fact not a star. The first shape you think of when you see that is that of a star. I mean, by definition, when is it a star? Does it need to have like 5 corners? Okay. There we go. Now find the right key. Teddy with the key, yes. And 6 and more side stairs. Okay. Once again, break into the school at night. Okay, mystery time. There we go. This one. And then save here. Cha-jang! So someone is not very good at drawing. And I guess that stops really being one. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Number of the psalm in the Bible. Good. So what do we get now? We still find the hidden room now, right? Yuzuria shows up and is like, you shouldn't do that. We just want to help you. But not in those exact words. And we're like, well, we're going to do it anyway. So either you join us or you shut the fuck up and leave. Then we open the secret room and find someone's corpse. Because why ever the fuck not? Okay. How is this different from from what I was doing before though? Like so far that is literally the exact same thing. Bring me a crowbar. What? Did I fucking stutter? For real? Okay. Let's see. Let's give until a ball. The scene where I was like, huh, is she just imagining Mayuri now or whatever? Let's see. I still think proportions on these look off. The Edika looks cute, so all is forgiven. Phew. Okay, ball.
この広間にいる方々は皆貴族の方ばかり。貴 族の方々。お姉様、あそこにおられるのが王子様では？本当だわ。早速ダンスを申し込まなければ。
Stepsisters approached the prince and introduced themselves, acting as though butter wouldn't melt, but just as they were offering their hands for a dance.
失礼。
Yeah.
遠い国から姫君がおいでになったという報告を受けてね。姫の相手は王子である私が務めなければならない。そうですか。姫君がどんな方なのかしら。
The stepsisters whispered together, gossiping about who this esteemed woman could be. Just then, Senrilion entered the ballroom led by Sun.
すごい。みんなとても綺麗。こんなに立派な舞踏会だったなんて。噂通りの美しい方だ。あなたは？
The prince!
私はこの国の王子。名を聞かせてもらってもよろしいですか？とても奥ゆかしい方なのですね。そちらが噂になっているという姫君ですか？これは女王陛下。女王様。確かに噂になるほどの美貌だ。みんなの視線の的になるのもうなずける。
I wonder how Rika is actually dealing with being on stage right now. Like, she can't see anything.
そんな。
Ah, yes. I'm so good at acting. I just don't see
紳士
anything.
は羨望の視線を。
Yeah, if you can read
こんなにも美しい。
That's all the same.
女王陛下。彼女。ええ。
Also still the same. So hip.
私、ダンスを踊るのは初めてで。大丈夫。私に合わせてくれればいい。とても上手じゃないか。謙遜だ。そんな。
Perhaps it was another one of her fairy godmother spells, but Cinderella found her feet light as air as she glided across the room. Time seemed to pass them by as the two were swept up in their own little world. Yeah, that's the one line where I didn't actually write Cinderella. Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters watched the prince and the lady dance, but none of them recognized the beautiful transformed woman before them. Then...
どうしたんだい？そろそろ12時になろうとしています。私は帰らなくては。そんな、まだ。ありがとうございます。本当に素晴らしい体験でした。明日も、舞踏会は明日も行います。
Okay, there's nothing new on this part then. Let's see.
Demo はなしだ。君には幸せになる権利がある。
My bad, I forgot there were 2 days to the ball.
今までずっと探し求めていた。自分を曲げずに。
A woman straight.
諦めずに。きっとそんな正しきものが。
お。お。うわ。
嘘。
Yeah, that. Oh, that's different. Is it? Is it going to be different?
だって二度と会えないって。だから。
Plot twist, he wasn't straight.
さあ。
はい。
微笑んでほしい。私は君の春の日のような笑顔が好きなんだ。私と踊ってくれるかい？ ているみたいだ。
魔法が本当にあるのなら、このまま時を止めてしまいたい。
A spell to stop time so that they could stay like this forever.
私も同じ。
だったら
君と出会った時に思った。二人の間にかかった魔法は消えることはないって。私の心の中には。
Bing bong. Magic's over.
そんな。
But this is the same so far. The heavy toll of a bell echoed through the space between them. The clock was striking midnight. The spell was about to wear off. Cendrillon turned pale as a ghost. But she knew that when the last fear faded, she would no longer be the dazzling lady the prince had fallen for. She would go back to being the poor soot-stained girl covered in ashes.
こんなにも愛しているのに。
She felt as though her heart was breaking, to have found love only to have it taken away. But she could not let the prince see her in rags. Breaking away from his embrace, she raced down the stairs. Then, when the last note of the ball faded into the darkness, the lady was nowhere to be seen. Yeah, that's the same. This game. No, we can skip. Skip, skip. Slowly, carefully, skip.
So.
Okay. It fits. Who would have guessed? It fits.
そんな。ピタリと開けて。サンドリオンが姫君？
Yeah.
やっと見つ
Give
け
her
た。
a huggy time in the pet.
私の求めていた姫君。
私もずっと探し求めていた。さあ、今度はお前が幸せになる番だ。
Is no one else seeing that this is no longer Takasaki-san? Is no one else weirded out by that fact, by the way? The fairy godmother raised her wand and transformed Cendrillion's suit-stained clothes into the glittering dress she wore to the ball, and flowers appeared in her hair. There stood the beautiful lady who had so entranced everyone at the palace, and she was Cendrillon.
お願いです、女王陛下。彼女を私の妃に迎え入れることを許してください。ええ、もちろんです。意義などありません。愛し合う二人を誰が咎めることなどできましょうか。王家に伝わる指輪を。
No stats.
ありがとうございます。
Because if I don't see anything new, I will be scared that I did something wrong, you know?
誓いの指輪を。
Yay! Still a pretty ring. Very cute design. Not too much. A single tear rolled down Cendrillion's cheek as the prince slid the symbol of the unbreakable bond onto her finger. But it was not a tear of sadness. It was a tear of pure joy to be held in the arms of someone who truly loved her.
幸せにする。約束するよ。今度こそ約束を違えない。
Oh!
私はもう十分に幸せです。
え？
私はあなたがいてくれたから愛を知ることができた。一人になったことで真の友情を得ることができた。
そうか、そうだね。
でももう私の前からいなくならないで。傍らにいて。
このひとときは永遠だ。
Ooh! Cendrillon and the prince exchanged a kiss. The kiss bound them together like a spell, enveloping them in the magic that would endure for all eternity. Cendrillon was covered not in ashes, but in love. An enduring love that, like an enchanted flower, would never wither. Let's go! Let's go! Oh, wow. Really? Oh no, it's just... Oh, right, okay, my bad. I was like, wait, that's it? Ah. There's no heterosexual explanation. Very fitting, thank you. They refer to as retellings in the field of children's literature. My mother tells me as I sit atop her lap. I look down on the scene of me as a small child, my mother reading a picture book to me. I'm aware that it is a dream, perhaps a lucid dream. We finished reading Mary's Child from Grimm's fairy tales. My mother is explaining the conventions of children's literature to me. I already knew the story and I pointed out to her that the version I heard was different to the one she just read. She tells me that there were sometimes horrible, gruesome parts in old fairy tales, so people changed them to be less scary. My younger self wonders whether it's wrong to change the original story and turn it into something else. She tells me that's because the way we approach stories has changed. In the past, things that we would find cruel today were considered normal. A retelling isn't really about altering the story to be something else, it's more like adorning it with flowers to make it all the sweeter. She told me that sometimes lies can be a kindness. And also that the rest of the text I can't read because it's once again too far down on the screen. Thank you for a non-existent backlog. Good job. Jesus Christ, Jess. That's probably why I couldn't tell my Amitié the truth. Even though I knew she sought the truth about all else, I chose to lie to her. And because of the little white lie back at the end of spring, she's been suffering ever since. I once thought I wanted the truth too. Then I learned of my mother's betrayal and a part of me died inside. That's why... no. It's the excuse I give us to why I'm crying as I watch myself sit atop her lap in happier times. I should have trusted my Amitié. I should have trusted Sue Shirahane. I needn't have feared that I would be betrayed again. She would still have been there for me even if I told her the truth. Whispered words echo strangely within the dream space. I watch as my mother, arms still around my younger self, turns sluggishly toward me. Slowly but steadily, her head turns until I can see her face. But though her lips were a gentle smile, her expression is terrifying, and I open my mouth wide and scream. Yet still she smiles. When my eyes meet hers, the fear jolts me awake. Above my head is an unfamiliar ceiling made from planks of wood. Dream and reality mingle confusingly for a moment, but eventually I remember where I am. The bed I used to sleep in. After that I planned to make my exit, but Sue refused to let go of my hand and I ended up staying over in her room. I murmured to myself as I stared up at the wooden base of the bed above me. The room is so still and silent that I could easily believe everyone else in the world has died. It's like being inside a Giorgio de Chirico painting. I feel like I'm the lone person left behind in a strange and familiar town. Sue's voice comes to me from the bed above, blowing away the silence that has been dancing around me like dust. The fear that has encased my heart like frost melts away too, and I call up softly to tell her I'm fine. My mother said that white lies do no harm, but my white lie hurt me irreparably, and it hurt Sue too. My mother betrayed my father, and she abandoned me. Will you spend the day with me tomorrow? Will you spend the day with me forever? After agreeing to Mayuri's request the previous night, I'm now following her down the path that leads toward town, or rather, all of us are. Although it's a Sabbath, it would probably raise suspicions if we all left the dorms at the same time, so each pair of Amitié partners slipped out of the rooms at different times and met at the start of the little path that leads to the secret lake. From there we set out with Mayuri leading the way to our destination. As strange tension hangs over us as we thread the snowy path, stifling any urge to make conversation. Even Ichigo, who's usually the first to break the silence, remains quiet, her concentration focused on her feet. I gaze at Mayuri's back, then look over my shoulder at the line marching behind me. Ika-san has her serious gaze fixed straight ahead, while her twins are walking along with their heads down. Kasaki-san is gripping the handles of Amichi's wheelchair, taking care to avoid any stones that may lie hidden in the snow. And in her wheelchair, Irika-san is resting her hands lightly on the handrails. Her gaze is directed up into the air, and she's staring like she spotted a cryptid hidden in the background of a photo as she mulls something over. Her sudden vocalization makes me jump, and we all stop in our tracks for a moment.
それで向かっている場所ってのにはあとどれくらいで着くんだ？だいたい1時間と少しってところかな。
An hour!
雪道を延々歩かせて悪いとは思うけれど。そいつは別に構わない。歩こうにも足が不自由でね。押してもらっているだけだからな。で、向かっている場所ってのが、お前がずっと隠れていたってアジトなんだろう。
Mayuri looks guilty beneath Irika-san's sharp stare, and she seems to be struggling to find the words to respond with.
まさかこんなに近い場所に悪党のねぐらがあるなんてな。お前、白羽がどんな気持ちで待ってたのか少しも考えなかったのか。それは
エリカさん、いいの。私のことはもう。
私はお前に話しているんじゃない。高坂真由里に話しているんだ。こいつとは一度腹を割って話さなくちゃいけないと思っていたところでね。
As I'm about to try to interject again, another voice, oddly light considering the situation, cuts me off.
スオさんのために真由里を責めなくてもいいの。それは昨日私がたっぷりやったから。
Oh, did you?
ああ、身の置き場がなかったよ。
Mayuri trails off and Ichigo-san giggles. That gets everyone besides me and Irika-san laughing along too.
それにしてもエリカってそんなにユリと馬が合わなかったっけ？確かにあんまり喋ってた印象ってないけどさ。いや、イチゴね、馬が合う合わないとかそういう問題じゃないですよ。
猫にとってユリってのは毒なんだよ。
Hehe.
え？知らないのか？花弁が最も毒性が高いが、葉も茎でさえ猫にとってユリは毒なんだ。
By the time Ichigo-san cottons on to the fact that Irika-san is the cat and Mayuri is the lily in this metaphor, Irika-san's sharp edges have rounded out.
八重垣さんはスオのことをずっと守ってくれていたんだってね。ありがとう。
Taking the click of her tongue as our signal, we all set off walking again. This time Takasaki-san starts up a conversation without reservation.
そういえば、高坂さんと私が似ているという話だったけれど、どうかしら？演劇会の時は薄暗くてよく見えなかったけれど。
Oh, really? It was too dim during the play to retell.
私としては似ていると思うですよ。特に顔の輪郭や髪型とか。雰囲気もどことなく離れしている感じだしね。そうかしら。
Kasaki-san cocks her head thoughtfully, but Nika-san chimes in to say that she's never thought they looked alike.
高崎さんは何というか凛としているけど、真由里はほわっとしているというか。ねえ、スオさん。リッカさんの言うこともわかるけれど、体のシルエットとか。
Oh, you would know about their physique, huh?
メガネの度が合ってないんじゃないのか？演劇界での王子役のすり替えも似ている千鳥だからちょうどいいって話になってただろうがよ。
まあ確かに背格好は似ているけれどね。ゆずりは先輩も私たちの作戦に配役の妙があったって言ってたしね。
I now understand exactly why Irika-san warned me before the play that there might be some surprises in store.
そう、八代先輩がそうだったのね。
Before stepping inside the hidden room in the library, I thought I saw Rika-san and Yatsushiro-senpai discussing something. One of the questions I was still harboring is resolved, and I nod to myself.
これから向かう場所について再度確認しておく。正直、あまり楽しくない話になる。
Well, yeah! Girl, I did not play through 4 games to not actually get my answers.
もちろんだよ。ここまで来て、なんとなくめでたしとか納得いかないよ。
まあ、今更だな。
Mayuri comes to a stop as the others voice their agreement, then turns her gaze on Irika-san.
八重垣さん、特に君には辛い真実と相手と向き合うことに言ったら今更なんだよ。
Her words aren't flinching, but having known her this long, I can tell that she's putting on a brave face. For what awaits us is...
では先を急ごう。
Truth! She says it's like she's driving home a nail, then sets off down the path, the crunch of her footsteps in the snow resonant with meaning. After following the path that leads from the secret lake toward the town for a short while, we turn off onto a track that cuts through the forest. The entrance to the narrow path is cleverly hidden by trees. We walk along the winding trail for winding trail for a while until through the trees we catch a glimpse of a brick building about the size of a small sanatorium. As we approach, the snow-covered path turns into a well-kept gravel drive, then a lawn, and eventually a flight of stone steps. The grounds contain a gazebo like the one at the academy, and beyond that I see a beautiful snow-dusted garden dotted with stone statues. I admire the garden with one eye as we make our way up to the front of this two-story building. It's built in a traditional European style and uses both timber and brick. Carved angels look down on us from the entrance. Mayuri doesn't knock or call out, she simply pushes against the heavy front door. What? Erika was like, I want to never believe in anything other than Mayuri simply left for unselfish reasons. Yeah! Which is a very valid way of thinking, I would like to say. Together we enter the mansion where Mayuri passed the seasons. Tell me though, if it takes a fucking hour to get from this mansion to the actual school building, why the hell was she there in the middle of the night so Suo could actually meet her? Like, what the fuck? When? See Irikan's shoulders jerk at the sound of the voice from the other side of the inner door we've arrived at. I know that voice. The doorknob turns, the door opens, and standing there is... Who would have fucking guessed?
ようこそ淡島家の館へ。
Sister Basquiat smiles at us from the center of the small room, blending in with her surroundings as though she's standing in a still life painting. The smile is different to the one she wears at the academy. I sense a hidden sadness behind it. Taking my gaze away from her, I look around the high-ceilinged room. There's an antique-looking table and chair, but it's two other things that draw my eye. They must belong to the owner of this room. The face is blocked from view by the canopy, but from the lamp under the covers I can tell that the bed is occupied. Sister Basquiat informs me, having followed my gaze. Noticing the figure lying on the bed, the others all exchange uncomfortable looks. The only one who remains unmoved is Mayuri. Oh yeah, by the way, so sorry we once again broke into your room. My bad. Will happen again if you keep more secrets from us, by the way. I nod and Sister Basquiat lets out a little sigh. She looks at each of us in turn, her gaze lingering a little long on Erika-san, but Erika-san lowers her gaze, looking down weakly at her lap. No one speaks. Silence settles over the room like a layer of dust. I look to Mayuri and to Dika-san, then I let out a long breath and face Sister Basquiat.
図書室の隠し部屋にあった2つのことから今まで起きた不可思議な事件の謎が解けました。その一つが学院の遠隔です。遠隔？学院の歴史の本ってイズニクにもあったでしょ？さらに詳しく記された遠隔よ。聖アングレカム学院が淡島新学校と呼ばれ、さらにその前身淡島保養所と呼ばれた頃のね。淡島保養所？文献を読んでいたから淡島新学校のことは知っていたけれど、遠隔には製紙業で財を成した淡島宗一氏が一族に結核を患う者が出たことを機にサナトリウムをそれがなんで新学校に？なんでも孫娘の死を契機に 淡島宗一氏が洗礼を受けキリスト教徒になったことからとあった。
I see why you mean that. Because genuinely, no, because like the third time for sure, because Yuzuriya and Nirina knew and were reporting on the whole. Oh, you know, Sue is sneaking into that building, so sure. Would have told her about it. She met up with Sue. Blah blah blah. The other two times, yeah. If it really was this far away, and she doesn't actually have a reason to be in the school building at all, and in the middle of the night, when it's winter, when it's cold, it takes an hour to get there on foot. Nah, I don't think so.
この時の進学校ではまだ保養所としての側面は残っていたらしいわ。だから七不思議の原型が作られた。
Can Nika-san repeat my last few words? I ask her whether she's identified the strange commonality shared by the 7 mysteries of Saint Angreka.
七不思議の共通点って
That's
怖い
Gary!
ことと七不思議の怪異と出会ってしまうと皆さらわれてしまうということですか？
I nod.
保養所で今まで仲良くしていた者たちがある日を境に消えてゆく。それを優しい嘘でさらわれるという形にして噂にした。保養所から進学校、聖アングレカム学院になってからもその優しい嘘が歪曲され伝わっていったの。
And Sayuri Kifune was caught up in that white lie.
学院で親元を離れて不安定になった生徒を一時つながりのある保養所へと連れて行ったことがあります。おそらくそれが
歪み伝わった。もともと土壌として残っていたからのことなのですね。そういえば壁心のフックマンの緑色の服装は医療従事者を思わせます。
She has said maybe that's a slightly tenuous link. I carry on with the story.
淡島保養所から淡島進学校へと変わり、淡島一族は学校経営を続けた。経営といってもこれは慈善事業のようなものだったのでしょう。
Thank you for the pasta check and night return. Oh, thank you.
海外からも神父様を迎え入れ、ある時期に淡島家の娘と教会から招いた女才ジェリコ・バスキアが婚姻し、婿入
To
り
be fair, when it's about like, oh my god, it must be so lucky to actually meet them up. Like, this is a fictional story. I will suspend my disbelief on how likely it is for that to happen because it is a fictional story. We might as well make it work like that because how else? Curious, like even more curious things have happened.
バスキアって。しかし明治の末期、戦争を機に淡島進学校を経営していた淡島家は没落の一途をたどることになった。製紙工業から鉄鋼業など他業種へ手を伸ばしたためとありましたが、これがいけなかった。母体としての製紙工業も危うく、当然慈善事業のような経営をしていた進学校は閉校の浮き目に遭いそうになってしまった。
I told them that it was at this point that the Basquiat family extended a helping hand.
婿としてきたジェリコ・バスキアが淡島家を継ぐこと、そして学院長職を得ることを条件に祖国の一族からベネリという方を呼び寄せ、孫である淡島椿と夫婦にさせた。約束を守ったことでバスキア家は資金を調達し、製紙工業の立て直しを図り、
Yeah.
そして進学校を再建。この時から淡島進学校は聖アングレカム
That's how we
学院
suddenly have a bunch of Catholics here. Okay. I look to Sister Basquiat for confirmation and she nods.
聖アングレカム学院と名を変え、その時から 主の淡島家と銃であったバスキア家との関係が逆転し、
French by some family in the middle of all these Japanese kids. Yeah. And then he's a guy from fucking Italy.
学院はバスキア一族が親族経営するものとなったのです。
それじゃダリア先生が学院の学院長なんですか？
いいえ、私は一族に名を連ねていますが、学院長は別の方が。敬愛を持ってマザーエルダーと呼ばれるお方です。
Upon hearing that name, a wave of cold sweeps over me like an icicle down my spine. Everyone else is shooting furtive glances over to the canopied bed, looking equally nervous. But my fear stems from elsewhere. So I remembered the tree that grows against Shiro and Basquiat's grave, the red-berried elder, the tree from which Judas the betrayer was hung, though some say that was my namesake in Japanese, the redbird.
アリウム様、マザーエルダーには2人の子がいました。長男のアスター・バスキア様と長女のエルリス・バスキア様です。
Regardless of where the name stems from, it's a very Western name with all of these Japanese names, so your point still stands. I couldn't tell you where it originated from either.
イベリス様は洗礼を受けはしましたが、シスターにはならず、代わりにアスター様はイタリアにて学び、神父様となられました。
It's neither of those places, actually. If I can trust these baby name thingies, that actually comes from old Hebrewic, which is probably not what it's actually called, but yeah, Althebräisch. Okay, I'll take it. Makes sense. It is for sure a very biblical name. Oh, Basquiat. Oh, so I don't know. I didn't look up Basquiat. I thought we were talking about Jericho. Shall we? Let's see. Haitian Caribbean. It's derived from the French territory of St. Kitts and Nevis. Aha! The African Spanish roots is also certain American artist. Okay. From the French territory of... Aha! You were not wrong. Yeah, you were not wrong with the French, but that's simply because of the French having taken over a bunch of stuff. Interesting. Some of the real Catholic institutions in Japan, Catholic mission was very... Yeah, true. True, actually. What other game was that? Fuck, hold on. There was another thing. Which one was that? Because there was another... It was another game that specifically... Funnily enough, it was an otome game that featured... that ended up featuring like Izanagi, Izanami, and all of that, that told me about how like it was about Catholics being in Japan of all places. Yeah. Okay.
イタリアでの修行の後、学院へと戻り。
Good. We have learned a few more things about names tonight.
素晴らしい神父であり教師でした。
Is a priest allowed to have children? I can never remember.
父でもあった。
I don't care. Irika-san's noise of surprise speaks for all of us. Catholic priests are supposed to be celibate, so how could he have had a daughter? Reading mine and Irika-san's gaze on her, Sister Basquiat answers with a conflicted look on her face. She's
マ
adopted?
スター様は
Ah,
本当の父ではないの。
classic.
私は聖堂の旧聖堂前に捨てられていたの。マスター様が私を拾い養女として育ててくれた。
Of course.
バスキア教諭が
とても優しく慈愛に満ちた方だった。私は父に憧れシスターの道を選んだのです。
Sister Basquiat's words fade into the ether as though her voice has deserted her, and a abrupt and chilling change comes over her.
バスキア教諭。
Her expression is pained, and I find myself at a loss for what to say to her. I can tell that whatever's keeping her from speaking is something deeply distressing. However,
バスキア教諭。
only Irika-san has the courage to look into her empty eyes. She remains silent, like time has come to a standstill for her.
この学院へ転入した時、正直自分は腐っていました。自分でこの学院へ来ることを望んでいたのに捨てられた気分でした。あなたはそんな私へ何度も呼びかけてくれた。返事もろくにしない私へ何度も。あなたが父を慕うように私もあなたを慕っています。だからどうか私から大好きなダリア・バスキアを奪わないでください。
Irika-san's words are like a confession. The life gradually returns to Sister Basquiat's blank stare until her eyes are once again brimming with the warmth we know her for. Sister Basquiat goes over to Irika-san and affectionately strokes her messy hair.
ありがとう。また私はあの時の記憶から逃げ出してしまうところでした。
Hearing the word memories, I see my chance to connect the keys I've collected thus far.
バスキア教諭の養父であるアスター・バスキアとシオン・バスキアの間には何かつながりがあるのですね。
ええ。シオンはマザーエルダーの長女であるイベリス様の娘。そして
She loses her voice again momentarily and presses her hands to her chest, clearly enduring something painful. Though her memories of the distant past, the wound they left are still painfully fresh, gushing blood even.
私がシオン・バスキアを知ったのはリッカさんが標本の中から彼女の手紙を見つけてくれたことからでした。
標本
She doesn't
手
know?
紙
Does she not know about the letters? It makes sense. If she knew, she probably would have done away with them. Or like, gotten them out of that room for fear of someone else finding them, right?
手紙には学院の生活が描かれ、まるで私とマユリの春から聖母祭までの出来事をなぞり記したもののようでした。そして最後の手紙はシオン・バスキアではなくアミティエである貴船さゆりさんが聖母役に選ばれなかったことで責めたことを亡きアミティエであるシオン・バスキアへ懺悔する言葉が記されていた。
貴船さんがシオンへ。
Sister Basquiat looks back on the past like she's watching the shadows of fish flit across the surface of a lake from deep below. While I know that I'm digging into an open wound, I have to speak my theory aloud.
シオン・バスキアは聖母祭のすぐ後であの旧聖堂で亡くなったのですね。
Her head still pressed to her chest, Sister Basquiat nods, her eyes narrowed as though she's returned to that day.
ええ。風のとても強い日でした。私はまだ子供で聖堂が火に包まれているのをただ見ているだけしかできなかった。しかし夜聖堂内にシオンを呼び出したと貴船さんが伝え、聖堂の中にシオンがいることが分かり、でも 火が強すぎて、みんな火の中に飛び込もうとする貴船さんを抑えていると、父が
Oh.
まさか。
Sister Basquiat's expression crumples and she nods jerkily, trembling all over as though she's reverted to the child she was that day.
助けにいた父まで煙に巻かれ、二人は聖堂で命を落としたのです。
貴船さゆりさんは自分のせいで亡くなったと思って、それで
She trails off, unable to verbalize the tragic events. Edicus gently lays her hand atop Sister Basquiat's shaking one.
でもその二人が旧聖堂で亡くなったのなら少しおかしいことがあります。おかしいことって？シオンさんとアスターさんがお亡くなりになったのなら、なぜ旧聖堂跡のお墓にはシオンさんのお墓しかないのですか？
Everyone except Mayuri looks to Sister Basquiat for an answer. I say that I assume it's because Asta Basquiat is interred in the Basquiat family plot.
ええ、バスキア一族が眠る場所へ。
She just guarded the entrance. Maybe. I know that everyone is now wondering where she and Basquiat alone was left to rest at the chapel.
その理由が真実の女神、そして始まりであり終わりの七不思議、アガペのタルパの秘密に関わってくるから。
I tell them. With everyone's eyes on me, I explain where my deductions have led me.
以前友人からタルパを調べてもらった際にイマジナリーフレンドの話を聞いたことがあります。
I explain how it's common for children to have imaginary friends and that sometimes they can even endure into adulthood. A friend born from the loneliness of one's own mind that seems to have a will of its own, sometimes they'll even offer words of counsel. This concept of an imaginary friend closely resembles that of a tulpa.
それがお墓の話とどうつながるの？まさか幽霊みたいにシオンさん
No,
や
Rika,
ア
listen,
スター
this
さん
is the
が
fourth game, and as we have found out, there's nothing supernatural going on ever. There's always an actual explanation.
違うな。もし幽霊として旧聖堂へ現れたなら、七不思議の名は旧聖堂の亡霊だ。
Catching Yurika-san's look, I turn back to Sister Basquiat and ask her about Allium Basquiat.
マザーエルダーは火事で息子さんとお孫さんを亡くされたことで記憶に齟齬が生じるようになったのではありませんか？
This is it.
白羽さんは全て見抜いているのね。ええ、そう。アリウム様はアスター様と溺愛していたシオンが亡くなったことで行けなくなってしまったの。
それって
みんなが思っているほどの症状ではないわ。ただ最初は気鬱になっているだけだと思っていた。だから学院でのバレエ発表会や朗読劇、演劇会などに連れ出して癒そうとした。ところが
聖母祭で聖母役の生徒を見てその少女がシオン・バスキアだと告げた。
シオン・バスキアを見た？だって彼女は火事で亡くなっているはずじゃ。そうか、そこでイマジナリーフレンドタルパの話につながるわけか。
聖母祭を境にアリウム様はまるでまだ生きているかのようにシオンについて語った。白羽さんが話したことと違うのは、想像の上で語るのではなく、聖母役の生徒をシオンそのものだと思い込んでいるということなの。
The others are starting to understand. Hands covering their mouths, they look to Mayuri and to the figure of Mother Elder asleep in the bed.
真実の女神の正体はマザーエルダーにシオン・バスキアとしてさらわれた娘のことなのですね。
The story hadn't ended at a tragic conclusion. A heavy silence stretches between us as we contemplate the chain of transgressions born from the depths of grave. But then a different voice breaks through the silence.
違う。
小坂さん。
確かにアガペのタルパの正体はマザーエルダーでありアリウム様だ。けれど 決してさらわれたわけではない。みんな望んでアリウム様の孫としてこの館に来た。
望んで？どういうことなの？
聖母役の少女をみんなシオンと思い込むわけではないのです。ただ症状が重くなる時期があり、聖母役の娘と面影が重なると
さらうのですか？
違います。私たちは聖母役に選ばれた生徒に
A
事情を
short
説
while.
明し、ひとときだけシオンとしてアリウム様の前で演じていただけないかと頼むのです。
Sister Basquiat tells us that the Mother Elder's illusion that the girl is Shion. Tells us that Mother Elder's illusion that the girl is Shion never lasts for long. 2 or 3 months, half a year the longest. In return for acting as her granddaughter during this time, the student receives preferential treatment when seeking a place at a sister school or employment at a related company.
以前さらわれることが名誉だと言っていたやつがいたが、あながち間違いじゃなかったってわけか。
昨年の春、聖母役を演じた高坂さんがマザーエルダーの
This has been going on for an entire
彼女をシ
year.
オンだと思い込んだ。
Only spent 2 to 6 months of the most formative section of your life, possibly leaving psychologically scarred from the experience. Hell yeah. Especially, like, you are pretending to be a completely different person. Like, for all hours of the day, except maybe for when you are truly alone and asleep or whatever, but... That's certainly
事情
good.
を話し、何度かこの館に赴いてアリウム様と話してもらった。
She looked so much like Shion.
確かにあの写真のシオンさんと高坂さんそっくりだったものね。まるで生まれ変わりじゃないかって思ったよ。
And because of Mayuri's uncanny resemblance to Shion, Mother Elder's delusion, which would usually last no more than 6 months, persisted.
なるほどな。そこで最初の疑問に行き着くわけだ。なぜシオンバスキアの墓だけ旧聖堂の跡地にあるのか。シオンが生きていると思い込んでいる時にバスキア一族の墓に祈りを捧げに行った際、孫の墓を見つけたらことだからな。
The illusion would be shattered and her heart along with it. Erika-san murmurs, and we all look toward Mother Elder's sleeping form. The story is over. Silence descends on the room again. Now that the truth has been revealed, should I ask that Mayuri be allowed to return to the academy? Or do I become complicit in this white lie so that Mother Elder can continue in a sweet fantasy that Shion is alive and well?
シオン。
At first no one notices the voice, faint as the fluttering of an insect's filmy wings. But when it again quivers against my eardrums, I realize that Mother Elder is speaking.
はい、ここにおりますおばあ様。
Mayuri alters her voice to a softer, more feminine register as she crosses over to the bed and takes the old woman's hand.
シオン。
Oh, goodness gracious, that woman looks like she's on death's door.
顔見せておくれ。
はい、おばあ様。
Mayuri lifts the wrinkled hand to her own cheek. The old woman's gnarled fingers flutter over her forehead, her eyes, her cheeks, and her lips. Her eyes crack open slightly.
シオン、ずっとそばにいてくれたのだね。
私はずっとおばあ様のおそばにおりますわ。
アリウム様。ねえシオン、バレエの試験はどうでした？難しくてなかなか上手にできないとこぼしていたでしょう。
教えていただいておりますけれど、なかなか上達しません。でもバレエの授業は好きです。
そう。お前の母のイベリスもバレエが苦手で、でも何度も練習して上手になったのですよ。
そうなのですか。では母に教えてもらいますね。
それがいいでしょう。それ
Mother Elder lapses into a coughing fit. Mayuri fetches a jug, pours a glass of water and holds it to her lips to help the old woman drink. It's such an intimate, familiar act as though they're truly a family. The sight of it moves us all. The old woman whose heart was broken by the loss of her son and granddaughter, and the girl who was betrayed by her own mother. My nose is bleeding once again. Thank you for the hydrate time. And the posture check. The two of them have spent the season slowly fitting together the missing pieces of their hearts.
おばあ様、少し眠った方が。夕食は私が運んできますから。
ありがとう。お前は本当に優しい自慢の孫だよ。
I mean, at this point, they've been doing this for how many years now? So, like, they have to keep, like, because of how they're going about it, they have to keep doing this until this woman dies. And then eventually they can stop with it. But that doesn't change the fact that Shion's grave is in a different plot. I don't know how easy it is to actually put someone in a... I don't know if you would even do that. Put someone in a different grave again. To move it, but I... Her eyes as she looks at Mayuri are filled with love, and I have to fight back the sob rising to my throat. Then Mother Elder's gaze slowly drifts toward me.
あなたはシオンのお友達。
So you want to be perceived? Be who you want to be. When her grey brown eyes fall on me, I see a sudden flash of recognition, of resistance. Then she looks back to Mayuri and past her to Sister Basquiat standing behind her.
ああ、ダリア。
Oh, she can't recognize Dahlia.
大きくなって。ハリウム様、息子に見せてあげたかった。
Smiling at Sister Basquiat, she lets out a long sigh. She wishes to return to reality. Tears slid down my cheeks at the realization that her blissful dream has come to an
あ
end.
りがとう。お嬢さん。
Oh no!
シオン。
After fondly patting Mayuri's cheek, the light in her eyes dulls once again. Mayuri squeezes her hand in return, responding to the name Shion. But her eyes aren't seeing Mayuri.
青い蝶。
The pair of butterflies appear as though they've always been there. They flutter around the room as though searching for something. Butterflies, the symbol of my fear, yet I sense no malice from them, but something like intimacy.
シオン。アスター。ああ。お前たちはそんなに近くに。傍らにいてくれたのね。 アスター。父様。
Blue butterflies settle atop Mother Elder's chest, as though they're speaking to her. I know saying they have to keep doing this until she dies. I didn't mean she had to die like right this second, by the way.
待たせてしまって。またみんなで花が咲くお庭で。
Her voice is barely a whisper. Mayuri presses her cheek to the old woman's chest, calling for her grandmother. But as her long sigh fades, 3 blue butterflies flitter up from her chest. The goddess of truth, and that selfless love called Agape, disappear from the academy, never to return. Just joking. Didn't have to die right this second. God damn.
ご遺体を大地に、土は土に、灰は灰に、塵は塵に、 神は万物を支配下に置く。
I repeat the prayer I heard at grandmother's funeral, but the rolling emotions in my chest keep the rest of the words stuck in my throat. Sue definitely requires therapy for lots of other reasons aside from seeing funny butterflies. A lady in Griffin flowers atop Shion Basquiat's grave, flowers Sister Basquiat tended to in the greenhouse. How much she felt during her frequent visits to Shion's grave. To come here, she would have to pass right by the remains of the chapel where her beloved father. Forcing my lips to quirk upwards, I pray for Shion and Sayuri's souls. In the end, it was decided not to move Shion's body to the Basquiat family plot. Sister Basquiat made the case that she should rest beside Sayuri Kifune, who had no relatives of her own, and her request was granted. So all these years, the two amitiés are finally together. I chose to leave my amitié partners, to leave Sue of my own free will. I don't regret my choice, even now. Even if I was merely running away, seeing my own mother, back she was kind to me and Mother Elva. Grandmother looked so peaceful. It was worth it just to see that look on her face. If my being by her side was able to bring a little joy into a life of sadness. And yet... My choice wasn't the wrong one to make, but when it comes to life's choices, there isn't always a right option. Sometimes every choice is a mistake. I chose to leave her behind. Will she take me back now? Looking up at the elder tree, I pray that Sue will come find my true self as she did before. Half of these girls at least need therapy? Yeah! The reason they're at the school in the first place is that they should have rather gone to therapy. They go to a fucking boarding school of all places. Owie. Oh wow. Pretty. It's a scene to take one's breath away. The cherry trees lining the road turned it into a tunnel. Petals slithered down without a sound, like snow falling on a winter's night, covering the ground, transforming the world. Ika-san says and I smile and nod. I feel the same way. Eyes crinkle behind her glasses and she stretches out her hands to catch the falling petals. But the pale pink petals slip through her fingers like tiny fish. I watch as she stretches her arms out delightedly, rays of sunshine and cherry blossoms raining down upon her. Petals fall down to decorate her hair, and behind her, standing in the shadow of the trees, my stepmother watches me. I'm sure it's the anxiety I'm feeling over whether or not Mayuri will be here that's called her fault. At Mother Elder's funeral, she said to me, "If you want us to be amitiés again, meet me in front of Shion Basquiat's grave 3 days from now." Seeing the dark blood marrying the vibrancy of pink and aware that it's a manifestation of the weakness within my heart, I come to a stop. She urges me onward. My stepmother's form only gets closer the further we walk along the carpet of petals, and I can't tear my gaze away from her. Tear my gaze. Ika-san calls out to me joyfully. She's right. As the falling petals brush gently against my cheeks, I think of Shion Basquiat and Sayuri Kifune. If there had been a group of 3, if they had an amitié partner like Ika-san with them, perhaps such a tragedy would never have occurred. Oh, we wouldn't have this game! These games. I feel that the recent change to the amitié system is a legacy left to us by Shion and Sayuri. A dazzling smile draws one back from me. Looming like a dark stain, my stepmother still watches me, but then suddenly with a maternal smile that reminds me of the first time I met her, she disappears. I probably never see her again. Because within me now I have two others, friends, lovers, family, my precious amitiés. We pass through the pink tunnel toward the place we've yet to visit this spring. With each step our memories together are woven into a tapestry, memories that both warm and chill my heart. But my heart will no longer be in any danger of freezing over. I have faith. We walk up the gentle slope until we finally arrive at the clearing. The headstone protrudes from the ground like a gleaming white sword, a tree glowing close behind it, growing. The elder tree, Allium Vasquia's tree, and then... Beneath the clear and boundless sky, she turns to us.
見つけてくれたんだね。
Nestled in the embrace of the elder tree, her petals opening up to the blue sky
い
overhead.
つまでも私たちは一緒だ。
The floriography of the young girl came upon her lips. She gives me a smile as bright as a spring day. Yeah. It probably does make sense. Because she is an anxious person, I don't think she's ever going to fully get rid of that. Like in a hard if she's in a harder situation to deal with. Maybe not to this extent anymore, but still it's it's something that her mind conjures up when she's in a lot of stress. The mom is our mom. I never finished Trouble Comes Twice, I still haven't. They added more extra scenes actually, just recently, that added more events, like extra thingies with the beach episode. No, not the beach episode, with the wedding thingy, and I didn't even finish the full game, I'm so... Just gonna write a please speak up a little in the future letter. I mean, I'm not going to blame the actress here, because this is on whoever was directing. Sort of, I'm busy crunching at work 24/7 was actually worse than you. That's what she's gonna do? What kind of job do you think Sue would do in the future? So this is the good ending. What's the difference between this and the grand finale then? Florist. But you still have to talk to people as a florist. Like you actively have to kind of go and talk to people. Yeah. There's a Rika ending and there's the grand finale, and I need to actually get through the Rika ending if I want to unlock the grand finale, but now I'm just wondering what the fuck they are adding in the grand finale if this is only the good ending. She's a book designer canonically. Ah. I see. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's all fictitious, I know. Blah, blah, blah. Shiro Akashio. My socially awkward nature loving amitié, a girl as sunny as a spring day, her smile so sweet and pure gently enveloped my stony heart like soft moss.
ねえシオン。なにユリ？
What is it, Yuri? What? Who forgot to change that line?
この白い花ってなんていう名前？
Who forgot to change that line?
アングレカム。私が好きな花よ。私たちの学院と同じ名前。花言葉は？私たちアミティエを表す言葉よ。 花言葉はいつまでもあなたと一緒。
Oh. When she said that with a soft smile upon her lips, I sent a silent prayer to God that it would be so fast. Well. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, that is the status quo already. No, see, this is the good ending. It's not yet the full thing. So there has to be something else there. Because to get the grand finale, I also need to have finished Dika's ending. Like, it's like this. The first one you get is Mayuri's ending. Basically, it's like that's the one you can go for. That's the one you get. And then that one unlocks you to be able to get this ending, the good ending. And that one unlocks Dika's ending. And then that one unlocks the grand finale. Blah, blah, blah. Damn, okay, I'm going. Jesus Christ, I'm going. Calm down. You want to see what comes after flowers before June? It's another skipping party. Woohoo! Except this time we do some choices differently. Or do you think I could choose the next option now, so we just jump to the actual next choice? Because we have seen all there is to see when it comes to the text, right? Anyway, slightly different. Erika-san directs a question to me with a trademark feline smile.
メガネと言ったらリッカさんだもの。私たちがなんて選択肢はないわ。
もしかしてスオンさん私を褒めてくれた？
Sure did.
ま、メガネって言えば委員長の代名詞だもんな。そいつまで取るのはさすがに悪いか。
私って言えばメガネなの？紅茶とか合唱部とかほら結構あるじゃない？
You are the only character around here that has glasses, though.
ダメよエリカ。副会長様が困っているじゃない。
だから役職名で言うのはもしかしてからかっているのね。
Erika-san's laugh and Erika-san's protest reverberate around the room. Smiling amidst the warm atmosphere, I plucked the glasses from Erika-san's hands and passed them back to my tea partner.
そろそろ食べようぜ。腹が減った。
Okay, hold on.
だって千鳥もりっちゃんだってエリカって呼んでるじゃん。
Because I've never tried using. Milk tea.
紅茶も好きだけどコーヒーも好き。どちらかなんて選べないわ。そうがっかりするなよ委員長。泣くなら私の胸を貸してやるぜ。紅茶だって言った方が良かったかしら。お昼も食べ終わったみたいだし。そうじゃないの。皆まで言うな。
Okay,
あ
hold
まり
on.
褒められた趣味じゃないが、コミカド先輩からこういタルパって言えばチベット仏教の図書だが、タルパは怪異というよりも宗教における修行だけじゃない。怖い話には脳の
Huh. But so far it seems to work.
その その髪留め素敵ね。
確かにエリカさん。おいよ、今言ったでしなんというか髪留めを解いたらアンハサウェイそっくりだぞ。
I know that name, but I do not know what Anne
お世辞が
Hathaway
ストレートすぎるわ
looks
よ。
like, but I highly doubt they look any similar.
つまり白羽は怖い話が
They killed themselves. Who? What? An outburst freezes me to the spot. I stare intently into her face as though I might discern something from it.
自殺した。
Oh, what? My voice trembles as I await an explanation for this abrupt confession. The girl turns her almond eyes to me.
そう、衝撃の展開だったわ。
What
まさか主人公が亡くなってしまうだなんて。
are you talking about? Asaki-san tells me.
それ
Jesus Christ.
以前白羽さんから面白いとお墨付きをもらって貸し出された小説よ。もしかして聞いていなかったの？
イズニクでやらなきゃいけ。
そう。気分を害してなんかいないわ。
でもごめんなさい。
Yeah, it does come out of nowhere. This is not on me.
白羽さんにおすすめ。
Permanent diva. Yeah. This woman.
HP ラブクラフト？恋愛小説かしら。
Why would you recommend a Lovecraft book to someone who hasn't read very much?
でも表紙は私好みな感じだわ。
Ah.
白桃の香り。
She smells different.
この作家。
Mm-hmm.
そう。怖い話は好きだけど、きっとエリカの耳に入ったらやっと笑ってくれた。ここ最近張り詰めた表
You much prettier when you smile.
演奏しすぎるのも嫌味になる。ことあるごとに白羽がってエリカ処置仲間同士のゆ。でも処置っていうにはまだまだ読んでない本が多すぎるのよね。
20 must-read books?
押さえておくべき本20
I
冊
don't think you'll
とか言っ
find
て
a
くれるなら
comprehensive list
頑張
of
って読むの
20
に。
books people can agree on that you should read. Like, just read what sounds interesting to you.
本好きでも年代によって
No, this is modern times.
これというのはないのだけれど。
This is modern times. They might act like it because it's like in the middle of nowhere and no one's using a phone, but this is not the 1900s.
怖い話が好きなら怪奇小説。
ジャンル問わずじゃな。
Yeah.
エリカさんなら幻想小説も。
そうよ。
それじゃあこれも代表的。
素直に言うわ。エリカも好き。
それって。
Oh,
ね
the
え白
improper
羽
image.
さん、
Girl.
私ばかりお世話をしてもらうのは心苦しいわ。
Okay, so we do. I'm sorry, I'm skipping through this scene, by the way. I was like, okay, it's going to be like 3 lines or whatever, but it is more than just 3 lines. But I've already skipped through most of it, like by just reading myself and then pressing next.
だか
So
ら私も
the next time we get one of those, I'll read it out properly. I'm so sorry.
そこまで。
What? Oh, okay. It's more. It's still more. My bad. I met a desire to help me with a request for ballet lessons.
以前と比べるとだいぶ良くなったわね。
本当？
ジュテの際に手首足首に力が入りきっていないところが難点だけれど、 形にはなってきているわ。
As she runs her eyes over my leotard-clad body, her expression serious, I reflect that my request, dreamt up in haste, was actually quite onerous.
シオンバスキアのことを調べているから教員名簿を一緒に調べて。
So what? Do we just get closer to Chidori in Rika's end as well? Is that what's happening? In my hurry to come up with something, I hit upon Takasaki-san's specialty, and she readily agreed to tutor me in ballet.
今までの練習で何か質問はあるかしら？
手首や足首に力が入っていないとダメなのは見栄えが良くないからとか。
それもあるけれど、一番の理由は怪我をしないためよ。力を入れていないと足が開きすぎて着地を誤って捻挫してしまうのよ。
I'm not impressed by her knowledge.
私の習っていた教室では着地での怪我の次に自主練中に同じく練習している子とぶつかって怪我をするのも多かったわ。
She importantly tells me that even though it's just the two of us, we should still be careful. I can't help but smile at the way she puffs her chest out like a proud child. Hi, Ompi!
どうしたの？
いえ、こうして高崎さんからバレエを教わることができるようになるなんてちょっと不思議で、でも嬉しくて。
Girls crashing into each other, girls crushing on each other. What's next? You're not addicted to Final Fantasy XIV. That's why I keep seeing your Discord status as playing Final Fantasy XIV the entire day.
転入してきてすぐは、いろいろあって。
My smile doesn't leave my lips as her cheeks flush.
ごめんなさい。
Jakku. She raises her hands in mock supplication, but then quickly lowers them, blinking as she turns a very Erika-esque smile on me.
そういえば少し前、エリカから勧められてある映画を見たわ。
エリカさんからのおすすめ？もしかして。
You've no current circumstances, I ask whether it was a movie about ballet.
ええ、赤い靴という映画よ。知ってる？
I'm not. It's an old movie that is still highly esteemed today, particularly interesting for the fact that it's based on the eponymous Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale. In the fairy tale, the wearer of the red shoes must dance until their dying day. The movie follows a ballerina named Vicky through her performances.
勧められたから2人で見ようと誘ったけど断られて、1人で視聴覚室で見たのだけど。
Good old ironworks gear, yeah.
どうしたの？
I question her. The way her brow furrows in perplexity makes me think of my grandfather's habit of biting his nails.
思っていたのと違ったのよね。まあ私のことを知っているからこそ勧めてくれたのだと思うけど。
バレエをしている女性が主人公だからよね。
まあ主人公の一人だけど、いろいろ家庭の事情が複雑で見ていて気分が良くなるものではなかったわね。
そう。
I recall that the protagonist didn't have a particularly blessed personal life.
そもそも赤い靴って表題なのに、あの靴安っぽいピンク色じゃなかった？
I try to recall scenes from the film. Maybe it was because I saw a remastered version, but I remember them being red as blood. I'm not sure what to say.
童話だと踊り死ぬのに、靴を履いたら足を失って死ぬなんて、そこも変よね。どうしたの？
高崎さんの話している赤い靴ってホラー映画の方の赤い靴ですよね。
ええ、初めからその話をしていたのだけど。
She regards me with narrowed eyes as though examining something that irritates her. I quickly tell her I was thinking of a different movie.
勘違い？
同じタイトルの映画があって、高崎さんが話してくれたのはホラー映画の赤い靴だけど、
Oh, Korean horror movie.
私はイギリス映画の赤い靴だと。
I know Sue is well versed in movies, but... Huh?
イギリス映画？もしかして。
多分エリカさんが勧めたのはイギリス映画の赤い靴だと思うわ。バレエがメインのお話だし。
名作で感動するって言われたからあれって思ったけど、エリカのことだからからかっているのだと思ったわ。
高崎さん、怖いお話も好きだしね。
ええ、それもあるから
私のために選んでくれたのだと思っていたわ。
Yet her expression remains irritated. When I gently prod her, she goes on.
今度は一緒に見ましょうって誘おうと思ったのだけど、エリカよほどのことがない限り同じ映画を2度は見ないのよね。時間は限られている、有効に使わなきゃなとか言って、本なら気に入ったら何度でも読み返すくせに。
She moves as though to bite her nails and abruptly stops herself. I wonder whether someone's told her to break the habit. But there's something else I'm wondering too.
私と一緒に見ましょうって誘ったら
Ooh.
失礼かしら。
Although I'm not sure how she feels about me, I think of Takasaki-san as a friend, so I'd love to watch a movie together with her.
名作だって言ってたし、一人で見るのも。
I'll ever be able to catch up to her.
あの
My voice comes out unexpectedly loud and Takasaki-san looks at me with wide-eyed surprise.
なに？もしよかったら高崎さんの予定が合えばで良いのだけど。ご一緒にその赤い靴を見てはダメかしら。私ももう一度見返したいし。
My throat is dry from nerves, so my voice comes out hoarse and scratchy. Seeing the blank look on Takasaki-san's face, a wave of regret washes over me.
それいいわ、白羽さん。
He flashes through me as she wraps her arms around me in a hug. I'm painfully aware of the feel of her body through her thin leotards.
エリカも白羽さんが一緒に見るなら来るって言うだろうし、楽しみだわ。そうね。エリカさんも一緒に。
Of course, I have nothing against Irika-san, but even with how antsy her closeness is making me, I still feel a little pang of regret that it won't be just the two of us.
高崎さんともっと仲良くなりたかったのにな。白羽さんが一緒なら来るっていうのも、それはそれで尺よね。そろそろ離れた方が高崎さんも嫌だろうし。ごめんね、来やすかったわよね。そんなこと。花火師さんに怒られちゃうものね。でもバレエの映画って結構踊る上で役に立つのよ。主人公の演舞を自分が踊っていると仮定してみながら、こう、ちょっと上手に言えないわね。俯瞰で見るですか？そうそう、その俯瞰よ。別の視点で見られるから役立つの。
I can't tear my eyes away from her soft smile, yet at the same time, the words send a ripple through my heart. Detached. I wonder whether in my search for Shio and Basquiat I've been taking a detached approach. Or have I been getting emotional?
感情的になっていないわけがない。
It's related to Mayuri. No matter how hard I try to remain cool and logical, I haven't been able to keep my emotions out of it.
どうしたの？高崎さんから大切なことを教えてもらったわ。
She gives me an odd look.
まあいいわ。白羽さんの役に立てたのだったらよかった。
Then she flashes me a boyish grin.
もう少し練習に付き合ってくれる？もちろん。
She says with a smile like a sunny spring day that reminds me of Mayuri. Nyah.
天気のいい日に帰る。
Oh, wait, I wanted to see if I can use the next button again. Another posture check, Jesus! I'm posture checking so much tonight. Chidori has become such a different character from how she was initially introduced. I'm so happy for her. Kisan's gentle breathing is the only sound in the otherwise quiet room. Looking at the clock, I see that it's already past midnight. Closing the book I've been reading, I place it beside my pillow. I know I should go to sleep, but don't go to sleep. Careful not to make too much noise, I sit up and adjust the reading lamp beside my bed. Then I pull a small paperback out from my bedside table. Inside is an elastic hair tie and some woolen yarn. I stare at the orange and yellow threads, then close my eyes and picture the finished product. It's okay, Irika-san showed me how. Picking up the crotch. Oh, crocheting in the middle of the night? Valid. I slowly get to work under the dim lamplight. I do. I think the cooldown for the hydration should be like 5 minutes, just so you guys cannot force me to drink like an entire bottle in a few minutes. Something along those lines. Ah. Be pressured by her in this case.
高崎さんの方が似合っているように思うわ。
I say. Takasaki-san makes a face like a lifelong vegetarian who's just been asked whether she likes tomatoes, then flashes me a stiff smile.
ありがとう。でも今はエリカのことよ。質問をはぐらかすのはフェアじゃないわ。
Water poisoning is a real danger. I don't think I would be able to drink that much. Although I tried to voice my genuine thoughts, it didn't work for me like it always did for Yatsushiro-senpai. As I think of the older girl, Takasaki-san keeps prodding me to say how good I think Erika-san looked. Basically what we're doing is just choose the other option at absolutely everything. I wipe my hands across my forehead.
大丈夫。この部屋少し蒸し暑くて。
Erika-san looks confused.
室温は寒いくらいじゃない。
Perhaps to protect the specimens housed within, the temperature of the room is set low enough that it actually feels a little chilly.
白羽さん、どうぞ。
We don't want to touch that thing. I'm too nauseous to even accept the bag of food.
ごめんなさい。まだ気分が優れない。
Oh, this is when this is when they give me some food. I tell them.
おい、それじゃまだ保健室で寝ていた方が。
だいぶ良くはなっているから。でもまだ食欲がなくて。
Erika-san scratches her head. I feel guilty knowing she brought lunch especially for me.
でもせっかく持ってきたのだし、やっぱり。
別に私に気を使う必要はない。病気になっても食欲が落ちたことはなかったから、みんなそうだと思っていたよ。
みんなエリカと同じではないのよ。
いや、マジでそうだったよな。すまん。
I'm sure Takasaki-san was only trying to rip her a little, but Erika-san seems disproportionately despondent. We both rush to cheer her up.
いえ、そこまで気持ち悪いとかではないの。まだ少し食欲が湧かなくて。でも、もう少ししたらきっと食べられると思うから。そうよ。別に今すぐ食べなくてもいいんだし、無駄にはならないわよ。
I nod eagerly and Erika-san scratches her head.
そうか。それじゃ、一応渡しておくぞ。
With that, she passes me the paper bag.
ねえ、私たちの部屋で
And so honestly, quickly back my brain for how to respond. If I admit to bringing the almanac, I'll simply dodge criticism for breaking the rules, but she probably won't figure out my true intentions.
新しい年間だから会長として書き込もうとしていただけと言えば。
No, we only record major events in the almanacs, and there's nothing like that currently going on.
無理に聞き出そうとするのはかわいそうですよ。
あ？
スオちゃんも女の子です。恥ずかしい本の一つも読みたくなることがあって当然ですよ。
So we end up at this thing anyway. Erika-san scratches her head, mulling this over.
だな。悪い。白羽のことだから濡れ場が多い小説でそれを見られたら恥ずかしいってとこだろ。
違います。
Deciding that there's not much point in continuing to hide it, I open the desk drawer and remove the almanac. Very ninja told us, get your time and calls to go running around over the fence.
スオちゃん。
Oh, Nani! Hearing my voice, she immediately comes running over, reminding me of a little kitten pattering over to its mother. I smile. Entire there's Yuri manga. Just hidden. All this next option is so good. I wish I had realized that this has been there for all entries of this game. Because I just kept skipping and skipping and skipping, but you can just jump.
いえ、なんでもないの。遅れてごめんなさい。待ち合わせの時間より10分早いですよ。私としての方が早く来すぎただけです。
If you're both going to be so early, why didn't you just set the time to be earlier in that day? Not having a watch, I hadn't realized I was early. Looking around, I asked where our fellow investigator is.
エリカ先生はお越しにならないですよ。
急な要件が入ったの？
まあ、
He would have come even earlier, duh.
ですが。
She seems reluctant to say more. When I tilt my head at her curiously, she narrows her eyes and informs me that it was her nuisance of a sister's fault.
いちごさんの？
I will admit that I have asked people to come to an event earlier because I knew they would be late anyway, so in the end they ended up coming at the perfect time that I was expecting them. Or that I wanted them to be there. I just told them to come an hour earlier because I knew they would be there anyway. That's fun.
実はですね、寄宿舎に戻った姉が何を思ったのか急に模様替えを始めたのですよ。
Wait for it to continue.
ガタガタと家具を移動させているうちにですね、ルイーズがいなくなってしまったのです。
ルイーズ？それって？
スオちゃんもご存知の通り、姉の飼っているカエルのことです。
I was not aware. I wasn't aware, but in not anyway, not wanting to derail the conversation.
姉と一緒に部屋中ルイーズを探していたのですが、そこへバスキア教諭が訪ねてきて、いなくなったルイーズを一緒に探してくれることになったのです。
そう、バスキア教諭もご一緒に。
もともとバレエの補習に来なかった私たちを、おっと脱線しましたですね。とにかく一緒に探してくれる運びとなったのです。ですが、なかなか見つからず、そこへ私を呼びに来たエリカ先生が。
I can tell where this is going.
エリカさんが手伝うと言ったのね。
God.
ですです。なのでルイーズの捜索は皆に任せて、スオちゃんの助っ人にやってきたのです。
I hope they find that frog.
私の方は後回しにしてもいいのに。
大丈夫ですよ。あっちには探偵が一人いますからね。今回は私が探偵役をしますですよ。
Louise! She beams at me and I clasp her hand gratefully, warmed by her kindness.
まあ、リサが逃げてないので、そのうちケージに戻っているでしょうしね。
How many frogs does she have? Ichigo-san's murmur brings back memories of Halloween. Lisa and Louise. Those were the names of the creepy twins from The Shining.
ハロウィンで仮装したキャラクターの名前をつけたのね。
Although it wasn't really that long ago, it feels like an age. I'm happy to know that it's a special memory for the Sasakis as well as for me.
それではスオちゃん、
白羽、まずはどこを調べる？
Dingo-san affects a low voice. Girl, what the? Oh! I was like, oh, did Irika-san show up? No, that's just her voice actress. Jesus! Go off. Stare out at the snowflakes dancing silently through the air like feathers on the
白
wind.
羽。
Ooh. Hearing someone call my name behind me, I turn around to greet my fellow detective.
悪い。待たせちまったようだな。
She apologizes in the same affected tone as earlier. I warned her that Irika-san wouldn't be pleased if she overheard her.
そうですかね。調べ物には探偵が必要ということで、車椅子探偵のエリカ先生の真似をしてみたのですが。
So good. Was it a bad impression? She asked. No, it was a lovely impression. Keep going.
逆よ。似すぎているから怒られるかなって思ったの。
I tell her.
なりきることで新しい発見があると思うのですけどね。スオちゃんは経験ないですか？
She's got me there. I often ask myself how the protagonists from movies or novels would approach a problem and run through the thought process myself. When I don't answer, Dingo-san gives a satisfied nod. Then, donning Irika-san's voice again, she asks me how things went on my end.
学院に残っている3年生に血まみれメアリー事件について尋ねてみたけれど、あまり収穫はなかったわ。
こっちは2年生を重点的に聞き込みをしてみたが、やはり目新しい発見はなかった。なんというか、口が重すぎる。
Imitation is too on point. Stifling a laugh, I tell her that I had the same impression.
確かに
大勢学院を去ったのだから口が重いのもわかるけれど、なんというか奇妙な感触を受けたわ。
それは私も感じたよ。なんというか罰が悪い風というか、叱られる前の姉を思い出す。
Smiling at the mention of the other Sasaki, I nod, glad to know we're both on the same page.
だいぶ前に起きた事件っていうなら記憶にないでうなずけるが、たかだか1年前の事件だ。こんなに事件の話を聞くのが面倒だとは思わなかったよ。
ごめんなさい、私が付き合ってもらったから。違うですよ。今のは愚痴じゃないです。疑問を口にしただけです。
Breaking character, she rushes to assure me.
確かに意味事ですが、こんなに口が重いのはおかしいですよ。今まで七不思議の事件がありましたけど、もう少し細部だとか噂話、尾ひれのようなものだって囁かれていたです。それなのに血まみれメアリー事件だけは皆一様に同じことしか口にしないのは奇妙ですよ。
She's right. When I spoke with the second year students in the clubhouse, they all relate the exact same stories they were reading from a script.
どうしたら。
こんな時こそ第6巻だぜ、白羽。私のスパイダーセンスが囁いているのさ。ある人物へ話を聞けってね。
When I ask her who, she scratches her head in a perfect imitation of Irika-san and tells me she's talking about the inner circle.
今までは当たりをつけず不特定多数の相手に話を聞いていたが、ここからは個人的につながりを持っている相手に話を聞くってことさ。
それって
料理部の先輩方に話を聞いてみる。密な知り合いなら胸筋を開いて有益な情報を漏らしてくれるかもしれないだろ。
I'm not in agreement with Ringo toward Irika's idea and we set off on our mission. Oh, that's so good. I love this. For a while we walk in silence. The only sound is the satisfying crunch of snow beneath our feet.
テスト中のしんとした教室の中、鉛筆の書く音だけが聞こえるサラサラとしたあの音、好きなんですよね。
I smile. The soft sound had conjured the same image for me.
信じてくれないかもしれないけど、はい、僕も同じことを考えていたよ。
I attempt to emulate Yatsushiro senpai. Ringo-san beams, telling me I'm a dead ringer. Then she dons her own feline smile.
いい考えだと思ったんだがな。
What is happening? He goes back to being Erika-san.
桜木先輩に会えたのは良かったけれど。
What the fuck?
美に入り才に入り語ってくれたから細部が知れたのは。
Susan, do that again, please, please, please.
正直新たな情報ってやつはなかった。
当時の3年生、料理部からも
Do it
辞めた生徒が出たと話していたわ。
部活か。そっちでつながりが得られそうな気がするな。
Can't say no now.
辞めた3年生の共通点、どうして辞めることになったのか、その経緯を調べていたけれど、辞めた生徒たちの人となりを調べてはいなかった。
役に立ちそうかい？
ええ、十分な探偵役だわ。
My compliment makes her bashfully scratch her nose with a hand that isn't holding mine.
よかったです。エリカ先生にな
You
りきっ
guys
た
are
甲
holding
斐があっ
hands?
たですよ。
What? She smiles proudly. I thank her again, feeling incredibly lucky to have a friend who shows me such care and affection.
本当にこの学院に入学してよかった。
Though my time here has come with its fair share of anguish, I've gained something truly irreplaceable. I want to make sure I put her idea to good use. Squeezing her warm hand in mine, I think about our conversation with Sakuragi senpai.
確かに辞めた3年生たちの共通点を見つける作業をしていなかった。
Perhaps they were members of the same club, in which case...
確か 桜木先輩が最後に言っていた学院にとって損失だったって。
At the time, I thought she said it simply because so many students had left the academy, but perhaps she used that phrasing for another reason. For example, because many of the students belong to the same club, maybe the cooking club.
いや、でも何を悩んでいるのですか？
When I explained my thoughts, she puts her hand to her chin and narrows her eyes thoughtfully.
ならもっと詳しい人に話を聞く必要があるようですね。それって。
No, it's just, I don't know, I didn't realize they were holding hands right now. It's like, oh, we're just walking. What?
当時血まみれメアリーを探っていた人物。
Though the way the sprites arranged right now, it also looks like they're holding hands. You just have to imagine that her arm goes here and it's like, yeah, perfect. I sent her a concerned glance, wondering if she's referring to Yatsushiro senpai.
違いますですよ。血まみれメアリー事件を調べていたのはゆずりは先輩だけではないですよね。コミカド先輩も調べていた。つまりコミカド先輩のアミティエ、萩原先輩に話を聞こうってことね。ゆずりは先輩のアミティエは学院を去っていますが、コミカド先輩のアミティエは在籍してますからね。
The index finger strokes my palm between our joined hands. I'm about to say we should go speak to her at once when I'm interrupted. What? We're already back at the dormitory building. Ringo-san signals for me to be quiet and stands stock still, training her ears. She tilts her head, focusing her senses toward the forest. The fuck? Then a scream rings out, making the hair stand up on my arms. That was...
初めの声はエリカ先生だったですね。
Excuse me?
次の声はりっちゃんさんでした。まあ、エリカ先生が手伝っているのだから、副会長様が手伝わないわけがありませんよね。やっぱり、リッカさんの声、今の悲鳴って。
In response to my fearful question, Ringo-san smiles.
ルイーズが見つかりました。
He says.
ええ、あなたになら話してもいいでしょうね。
They found the frog because it jumped on Rika. Perhaps because of Ringo-san and Yatsushiro senpai's past relationships, she seems happy to talk. After offering us a cup of coffee, her eyes take on the faraway look of someone gazing toward a distant horizon just before dawn. Then...
Yeah,
haven't I seen this? No? Her gaze refocuses and she opens up.
八代さんからあまりお話を聞いていないけれど、コミガトさんからは調査をしていて、その進捗を聞いていた。
Is this different from what you told me
お願いします。
before?
わかったわ。冷めないうちにどうぞ。
I wonder whether the coffee was left behind by Komikado senpai. As we sip our drinks, we listen to Hagiwara senpai tell us everything about the incident she heard from Komikado senpai. Oh yeah, okay, it's different because Ringo's here. My man.
随分と綿密に血まみれメアリー事件のことを調べておられたのですね。はじめは八代さんが7人の上級生が一時に辞めた件を調べていたの。それにコミカドさんが加わって辞めた生徒が血まみれメアリーの儀式をしていたことを突き止めたのですね。
At my words, Hagiwara senpai pulls a sour face. Ringo-san looks over at me. It's obvious to both of us that she's holding something back.
すみません。何か言いにくいことがあるようにお見受けしましたが。ごめんなさい。あの時のことを思い出してしまって。血まみれメアリーの儀式をしたせいで3年生が辞めたという話が出て、八代さんのアメティエも学院を去ったの。
I wonder what that is why the older girls were so unwilling to talk. But that doesn't make sense.
確かにゆずりは先輩のアミティエはいなかったですものね。
Wait, you guys are gonna be... Yeah! Oh, I only earned it. What? You guys are getting paid? It may not be a particularly happy topic, but was it really something so taboo? Unless...
八代先輩のアミティエも血まみれメアリーの儀式を行って辞めてしまった。だから八代先輩が後からコミカド先輩の調査に協力したと。
I voice my speculation out loud, but Hagibara-senpai shakes her head. So what is it she doesn't want to say? Although she said she'd tell us everything, Hagibara-sensei is now clamped up just like the other upperclassmen, her expression grim. I don't think there should have been a sensei, there should have been a senpai, but okay. It's something that happened over a year ago, so why is getting her to talk about it like getting blood out of a stone? The occasional gust of chill wind that whips through the quiet room only turns my insides colder. Nigu-san bows her head low. Flustered, the older girl tells her she doesn't need to do that. She sounds like she's trying to convince herself as she gives Dingo-san a slightly pitying look, then turns to me, pinning me with a sharp gaze. Her preamble plants a seed of unease within my cold gut. Ah, yeah, we know this. We have already cleared this mystery before. I hear that woman's laughter in my ear. And we also know the reason why this particular rumor was being spread. How could the kind Komikado-senpai I knew do such a thing? I can't quite wrap my head around what she's saying. But there she is. Not in my head, not in my mind, but right before my eyes. I can see the ghost of my stepmother turning toward me, her lips contorted into an unpleasant sneer. I like this CG for how it's made because it looks like one of those paintings that used coffee. Has anyone else ever tried doing that? Where you basically just soak a piece of paper in so much coffee to then use it to and paint it. Especially for when you try to make a map. Like an old-timey looking map. That was fun. Red lips of the ghost gleam as she laughs, so vivid it's like she's really there. I look down at the ground, feeling sick to my stomach. No! Never? Well, you should try that. We did that in elementary school sometime, where it was also like, okay, oh, bless you. We are now going to make our own maps. And we prepared a bunch of coffee. So those maps would look like they were actually older than a map on a new piece of paper would have looked like. Make it like this pirate. He's like, oh, you're traveling across the sea, and a few corners of the paper are already like ripped off. Blah, 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 blah. That was good. Also a mess to clean again. It was good. Okay. I guess we are not finishing all that tonight if there's so much on her. Arada speaks and lets out a little yawn. Closing her book, she stretches. Looking at the clock, I see that it's already past 11 p.m. Don't go to bed yet. I still have something I need to do. Watercolor. Yeah, watercolor was a classic. I don't have much time left. I want to make progress while my days are still relatively calm. Mika-san cocks her head at me sleepily. I can't share the details, especially not with her. Nope. And yet... With anything else, I'd be unendingly happy and grateful for her offer, but not when it comes to this particular thing. Her face falls.
でもこれは決して手伝ってほしくないというわけ
It's
じゃな
just
く
it's a
て
present for you, so if you were to help, it doesn't really work. It's something I'm doing because I want her to be happy, yet in hiding it from her, I'm making her sad.
分かっているわ、スオさん。
Adika-san just smiles.
高崎さんのお誕生日が近いものね。スオさんのことだから何か用意しているのでしょ。
She tells me she knows I've been up to something at night recently. Ah. I find myself at a loss for words. She's pretty much hit the nail on the head, plus she's noticed I've been working on something at night.
確かにプレゼントでも他の人の助けがあったらダメだなんてことはないんでしょうけれど、やっぱり一人で作りたいのでしょ。
She's right about that, although I've already sorted out Takasaki-san's present.
そうなの。だから
分かったわ。私きちんと見守ってるから。
No!
見守られて
The words come entirely from a place of good intentions, so I can hardly reject them.
ありがとう、リッカさん。
I would never treat her kindness with disdain. Settling on the idea of working on my project as I lie in bed, I also decided I'll focus on making something else tonight. Whoopsie! Okay. Up. Up. Oh, oops. Oh, you can even go back to a previous choice, huh? Next. Oh. And the squanchy. Yes. Yes. Aha! Good. This is good because 1, this is where we need a new save, and 2, this is where we're gonna end. And then next time we're gonna finish Rika's ending. I think. I hope that will work. Thank you for the pat. From the resident expert on flowers, do you think I will be able to finish this game with one more stream? Finish Rika's route, like we have here, and then also get the grand finale done? Or do we need one, like another stream? Because I fear it's going to be just a tad too long for just one more stream, and then I'll start another stream, and then it's like half an hour of the game, and then I'll sit there like, huh, damn, I didn't prepare anything. 5 minutes. Also. You say you're 98% sure that yes. Okay. Every time. Yeah, basically. Because I hate when it's like just a little time left. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're going to finish this game next time then. We're going to finish Rika's ending and then see what the grand finale actually has for us. We've already done the bad endings. There's a few more saves that we need for the simple reason of, oh, you know, if you do something just a little differently, there's more events. There's some more events. If you do something just a little differently, also CGs, but that's like a collector's issue that doesn't have anything to do with the overall ending. So it feels like it. Yeah, no, I think so as well. That means I have to think up a new game also for next week that we start after this one. So just in case we don't manage to finish it in the one stream, I will have something for the stream after. But it will just be like the half hour that I'm still missing, and then, oh god, I need a new game to start right now. But yeah, that is gonna be it for tonight then. I really bonus events and CGs before grand finale. We'll just grab it. And then we have it for sure. Because I honestly don't see what else we will have in there, because we already found out the truth now, right? We know who the Mother Elder is. We know the whole thing about, oh yeah, Mayuri has been acting as her granddaughter. What else is there in the grand finale? You know, we'll see. We'll find out. I have no idea, but we will find out. That's alright. That means I have to think of a new game, and then I'll post a schedule in a little bit once I figure that out. I think next week we're gonna actually do a Wednesday stream again, which we haven't done in a while. Because Tuesdays just don't work out for me, and Thursdays always feel like such a long time, so the Wednesday is a good day. If real life would also actually fucking let me stream on the Wednesday. But yeah, that is gonna be it then. I am going to send you guys over to Lyri. It's a very pancake scene. Oh! I do like pancakes. I do like pancake scenes. Understandable. I will be sending you guys over to Lyri because it's a Sunday, and I like sending you guys over to Lyri on Sundays. Right? What more reason do I need? There's so many people live today. What is happening? Oh, and the cat is leaving. He did not like the fact that I was like, okay, I will have time for you in 5 minutes. He just left. That is so... Oh. Oh. Hold on. Graphic. Oh yeah, we're missing something here. We are missing a few more things here. Interesting. Well, we will get those next time. For now, let me set up the rate to Lyri. And give you guys the raid message. As soon as Twitch actually lets it go through. That would be fun. Just turn on the ending song in the meantime and goddammit. Anyway, here you go. Here's the raid message. There we go. I don't know why that one was so hard. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. Even though there's only very few hours left. Have a good night. I'll see you all soon-ish. I'll post the schedule in a bit, yeah. Good night. And bye-bye. Bye-bye.